Hi guys, as we all know, the travel and adventure of Jose Rizal was an important facet for his education and sophistication, which he learned culture and politics of different countries. So today, we are going to tell you how was the travel of Rizal. So Rizal is said to be the most traveled Filipino hero in the history. The travel and adventure of Jose Rizal was an important surface for his education and mission for the Philippines. Because of his broad knowledge of different culture, it became his inspiration for reform.
Disillusioned with how Filipinos in the Philippines were regarded as second-class citizens in institution of learning elsewhere, the national hero Jose Rizal left the country in May 1882 to pursue further studies abroad. He enrolled in a course medicine at the Universidad Central de Madrid in Spain.
In June 1883, he traveled to France to observe how medicine was being practiced there. After his 3-month sojourn in France, Rizal returned to Madrid and thought about publishing a book that exposed the colonial relationship of Spain and the Philippines. This idea was realized in March 1887 with publication of novel Noli Me Tangere in Germany.
Rizal was actively involved in the propaganda movement composed of Filipinos in Spain who sought to direct the attentions of Spaniards to the concerns of the Spanish colony in the Philippines. He wrote articles for publications in Manila and abroad, convened with overseas Filipinos to discuss their duty to the country, and called on the Spanish authority to institute reforms in the Philippines, such as granting freedom of the press and Filipino representations in the Spanish Cortes.
Rizal returned to Manila in August 1887 after 5 years in Europe. However, his homecoming was met by the prayer furor over the Noli Me Tangere. The Archbishop of the Manila issued an order banning the possession and reading of the novel, an order that was later reinforced by the Governor General. 6 months later, pressured by the Spanish authorities as well as his family and friends to leave the country and avoid further persecution.
Rizal arrived in England in May 1888. In August, he was admitted to the British Museum where he copied Antonio de Morga's massive study of the Philippines, Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, which Rizal later annotated for publication as a gift to the Filipinos. In the museum, he devoted his time reading all the sources of the Philippine history that he could find.
He kept up his correspondence with various people, including his family who were being oppressed by the Spanish religious landowners, the Filipino patriots in Spain, and his Austrian friend Ferdinand Blumentritt, with whom he planned to form an association of the Philippine scholars. From 1888 to 1890, he shuttled between London and Paris, where he wrote ethnographic and history-related studies, as well as political articles. He also frequently visited Spain, where he met his fellow Filipino intellectuals like Marcelo H. del Pilar, Mariano Ponce, and Graciano Lopez Haina.
March 1891, Rizal finished writing his second novel, El Filibusterismo in France. He is planning to publish the book in Belgium, but was financial hard up. His brother's support from back home was delayed in coming. He was scraping up meal expenses. Finally, in September, in Vienna, using donation from Rizal friends.
Meanwhile, a rivalry had ensued between Rizal and Del Pilar over the leadership of the Association Hispano-Filipino in Spain. Rizal decided to leave Europe to avoid some worsening rift between Rizalistas and Pilaristas and to help maintain unity among Filipino patriots. After staying for some time in Hong Kong, where he practiced medicine, and planned to build a new Columba by relocating landless Filipino in Borneo. Rizal came home in the Philippines in June 1892.
Jose Rizal is said to be the most traveled Filipino hero in history. The travels and adventures of Jose Rizal are an important surface of his education and mission for the Philippines. Because of his broad knowledge of different culture he learned from his journeys, it became his inspiration for reform. Upon his travel, Jose Rizal experienced struggles that leads to the reforming of the Philippines. Thank you for watching our vlog about the travels of Jose Rizal. Have a nice day.